Now, Cory, I want to ask about Australian Conservatives. Now, obviously, it was pretty clear. I think it was pretty clear, not just after the election results, but that show straight after them, when we had the conversation with Scott Morrison, and you were very clear that you were pleased about so much of what he had taken on board from that particular win. It seemed fairly obvious that there was part of you that felt job done here, if not the job you wanted done, a reverse job on the Liberal Party getting changed. We know through the week that the party gets wrapped up. Next couple of days, financially, it's done. But I want to talk about the future. Straight out, have you had conversations about rejoining the Liberal Party? That's the first bit.
Paul, the last 4 weeks have been about wrapping up the party and coming to that decision. It's been a tough decision, and over the weekend I've had plenty of time to think about what future I'm going to have. And, you know, the conclusion I came to is this. I've had a few mates that have contacted me and said, you know, I should go back to the party and so on, but I actually don't think it's particularly fair for me to make that request. I left the party to do something. I'm a big boy. I can wear the consequence of the decision. I don't shy away from the fact that I'm going to support this government for as long as I'm in the parliament and do what I can to make them as strong and as healthy as I can. But honestly, it would just open a whole bunch of new bad blood, I suspect, with a bunch of people. And it's just, I think that the principle is right not to seek to rejoin them.
So in those representations, were they ever serious, or was it something that this was kind of always the way it was going to be, which is that you'll see out the term or as much of it as you want to under the banner of Australian Conservatives? Is that what you'll sit in as the parliament, or do you sit as an independent now?
I think without a party registered, I think I'd probably be an independent. I'll take some advice on that. But look, I've still got mates in the Liberal Party. You know, they know where my heart is, and a lot of them have been very encouraging. And there were some positive comments, some less than positive ones too, but some positive comments that came from higher up the field in the public domain last week. But I don't want to play ducks and drakes with people. I'm just trying to level a very difficult circumstance, difficult situation, trying to be as candid as I can. You know, for however long I'm in that parliament, and, you know, whether it be 1 year or more or less, I don't know, I'll do everything I can to make their government a success.
Pauline, you don't want a senator from South Australia? There's a bloke who's on offer here.
No, not on offer.
No, I'm quite happy the way we are, thank you, Paul. Cory's made that decision, and he can still represent the Australian Conservatives as a parliamentary leader, so he can register the party as a parliamentary leader without the 500 members. So it's his choice whether he wants to still use the name. It's not easy running a political party, I can assure you. And these people start up their parties. It's hard to contend against the major political parties. It's been extremely hard for myself. And Cory's had a go at it, and it's shown that Cory didn't make a success of it, and in the last election. But you know, I'm going to keep going and see what we can do to actually bring accountability and keep the major political parties on their toes. And Cory says he's going to back the Liberals up all the way. Well, sometimes they don't always get it right. This is where you need the crossbench. People with the individual thinking can actually pull them up where they've got it wrong, and not just go along and tick the box because, you know, that's where your leanings were. I originally joined the Liberal Party, but I was told to shut up, you know nothing, you know, don't say anything. Well, that's not me, and I believe that we are in a position, I'll still say that to you, Cory, we are in a position that we need to speak up if they haven't got it right and try to get it right for the Australian people.
Cory?
Well, Pauline, I regret, Pauline, that a lot of the things that you speak up about I disagree with, and, you know, it's very hard to argue. I believe that the government shouldn't be able to have their tax cuts because you want to cling to the notion of a discredited plan from 1938 to pump water uphill and into central Australia where it will evaporate. I mean, that's the reality of what it is. I'm terribly sorry, but that's the truth of it. I want to be rational.
South Australian, you want to take all the water down there to pour out into the ocean, and you don't give a damn about the Murray-Darling, the communities, the growers, all the rest of it. That tells me what you've just said then. Tells me you don't know what you're talking about with the Bradfield scheme, Cory. That tells me you have no idea what you're talking about. No wonder people didn't vote for you.
This is part of the problem, Pauline. You get all emotional about things, and unfortunately the facts escape you. Now, I'm not going to pick on you. They didn't vote for me. That's fine, because I don't believe in the conspiracy theories. I didn't read the Port Arthur Blue Book. I didn't try and upset our gun laws. I mean, go for it. Go as hard as you. We did badly in the election, but at least my integrity is intact.
So is mine, Cory, no worries. And I actually got a senator up in Queensland.
Yeah, who's also got a reputation for telling the truth. Who's got a reputation for telling the truth.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure Richo would love this to be the rest of the hour.
I'm enjoying myself.
You've got a former senator... Yeah, you got a former senator sitting there. He's pretty good on TV. Can we get a fourth seat for the outsiders if Cory ever needs to do the TV thing?
Absolutely. But listen, Paul, I think I've worked it. I think Cory is on slightly thin ice talking about pushing water uphill, because that is, of course, Liberal Party policy in Snowy 2.0 to push water uphill for no purpose whatsoever. But I do have a plan which solves everything, Paul. Cory joins One Nation, as you said. He then resigns. He becomes the South Australian Senator. He then resigns and gets replaced by Jennifer Game, who's one of the best people One Nation have got. She should have been elected in South Australia. She's an outstanding candidate, and then everybody wins.
Thank you.
And then Cory can join outsiders, and we'll all be happy ever after.
That's not the way it works, mate. The Liberal Party will actually choose my replacement when I go.
Be more benefit on the floor of Parliament. Not if you can come across the One Nation for that.